Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Next Level Her podcast, where we talk about real journeys, real growth, and the real you. I am your girl, Pauline, and we are still in our core identity series. We are continuing with it, and today we're diving into something that might feel a little uncomfortable, but baby, it could be so freeing if you allow it. So, our topic for today is unlearning who you're not. Okay. So, we're just going to jump right into it. When it comes to unlearning something, you have to visit the starting place where you learned that information, right? Or whatever it is that you want to unlearn. Sometimes you have to go back before you can move forward. So, yes, it might be uncomfortable, it might be a little difficult, but when I say it's freeing, when you go back and kind of redo some things, it is definitely going to be beneficial. So, when it comes to unlearning, sometimes it's going to require shedding layers that no longer serves you or layers that were never meant to be there in the first place. Okay. So sometimes going back can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary to shed those layers. Okay. So for many people, you've learned a lot about who you think you are from childhood. It might be cultural. Unfortunately, some of us learn it from family or your surroundings, peers. We end up picking up these roles, picking up these titles and expectations that don't necessarily belong to us, but because somebody put them on us, we feel the need to carry them and we feel the need to identify by them. And sometimes it's not that you feel the need, but it has been happening for so long that unconsciously you start identifying with those roles, titles, or expectations that other people have imposed upon you, right? So, for some people, maybe someone told you that you always had to be the strong one. Sometimes as a elder sister, I'm not the oldest in my, sister circle, but for some of you, you are the older sibling. So you've automatically had this responsibility be put on you. If you are, let's say you are the only brother sibling, you are the brother and you have your siblings are all sisters. Maybe somebody have put on this title, be the strong one for your siblings. If you're the older one, be the strong one, be the responsible one. So people put labels on you unknowingly, and we just unknowingly adapt to those labels or the roles that people put on us. Or sometimes you put the role on, oh, you're the good student, you're the student that always obey, you're the one that always listen. So you feel like I gotta keep up with these roles or these labels in order to keep others around me happy. And you carry that, you perform through it, you wear it like clothing. But here's the thing, the problem is it was never you to begin with. But because others put it on you, and sometimes we just unknowingly go with the flow, we feel like we start becoming it. So I can think back to times in my own journey where I was performing out of survival, not identity, right? I wasn't born in America. I was born in the Bahamas. Yes, I'm Haitian and I was born in the Bahamas. My parents are Haitian, so I claim Haitian. But I was born in the Bahamas and moving here, already labels were put on me just by being different, right? Having an accent, dressing differently, showing up differently. So already, without people knowing you, they put labels on you. So for me, and English is not my first language. So I struggle with English and accent, and just it was just so much being in a new environment, being in a different place. So quickly, I had to learn to perform out of survival because I needed to survive this new surrounding, this new place that I wasn't familiar with. So quickly, performance became my identity. But it was draining. It drained me, it sucked the life out of me, and questioning if I even knew myself at all. And now, as an adult, married with kids, I'm learning and I see that, oh, I've always been, of course, with help with others, I'm noticing, oh, I've always been in survival mode. No wonder I'm drained. No wonder I feel stuck. No wonder I struggle with insecurity. No wonder I feel like I'm not enough, right? And you start feeling stuck and then you just question, who am I? Do I know myself? I don't know about you, but have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, I don't even recognize this person anymore? And that's usually a sign that you're living out of who you're not, right? And it's not on purpose. We don't, set out to go be somebody different. Well, most of us, right? In Romans 12:2, it says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Conforming means molding yourself to fit someone else's expectation. But transformation is allowing God to renew your mind. And we have to do that daily. We have to allow God to renew our mind daily because every day when we're in this world, every day we're being bombarded by false labels, false identity. And so we have to constantly renew our mind and remind ourselves, right, of who God called us to be. So as we renew our mind, as we transform, our true self can emerge in God. Listen, in the Bible, it talks about Moses. Moses tried to call himself a stutterer when God called him a deliverer. Gideon tried to call himself the least when God called him a mighty warrior. Over and over again, God says, you are not who you think you are. You are who I say you are. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it because it is God, your creator. He can say who you are because he's the creator. He's your creator. So, of course, as the creator of you, he can say what he created. If he created a masterpiece, that's what he's calling it. So he's going to call it what he created. Just like if you were to sit here and draw something, right, and create something, you are the creator. You can call it what you want to call it. And of course, you will look at somebody crazy, like they're crazy, if they come and try to call it something else, something other than what you call it. So listen, we have to put some respect on who God calls us because he is the ultimate creator of us. So, sis, it is time to unlearn some of these labels and titles and roles that people have put on us, and sometimes that you might have put on yourself. It's time to unlearn the belief that you always have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. The perfect person came and died for us. So we won't have to do all the different things, right? We have to unlearn the belief that you can't make mistakes. You have to unlearn the belief that your worth is tied to pleasing God. So, sis, it is time to unlearn some things, right? We have to unlearn whatever role, label, title that somebody may have given you, or even yourself, that you have given yourself, but God didn't give it to you. And because God didn't give it to you, you have to unlearn those beliefs. Whether the belief is not good enough, whether the belief is you have to be perfect, whether the belief is you have to keep doing to be worthy, right? Unlearning is not failure. It is freedom. It is freedom for you. Because when you start unlearning and peeling back those layers, that is the ultimate freedom that God wants you to have. Because God knows, He knows who He created. But He needs you to know that as well. Because every layer you remove gets you closer to the core of your true identity, gets you closer to understanding God's ultimate goal or vision for you. So I don't know about you, but I know, and I'm sure some of you guys know, you have some unlearning to do. We have to start peeling back some layers to get to our true core, our true identity, to get to the masterpiece that God created. Because we over here painting our beliefs over God's masterpiece. And He's like, no, this is how I created you. And I don't need anything staining it. I don't need it painted over. I don't need any layers added because you are already perfect the way He created you. So this week, I want you to do some journaling, right? I keep going back to journaling because I am getting in the habit of journaling because sometimes we just got to put our thoughts to paper, right? So whether you're into journaling or not, if you're not into journaling, maybe you can just, think about what's one false identity or expectation you've been living under. You've been putting on yourself or others have been putting on you. And then, as you examine that, who gave you that identity? Who gave you that false identity? Was it you? Did you give yourself that false identity? Was it a family member? Was it a friend? Was it a teacher? Who told you this? Who gave you that false identity? And then once you're done with that, ask yourself, what does God, the creator of me, the person who had the master plan from the get-go, what does God, someone who knitted me together, Psalms 139, someone who says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. What does God, yes, that person who knows you in and out, who created you wonderfully and fearfully, that person, what does that person who is God says instead? What does God say instead? Because what He says always going to trump the lies that a parent might have said, a teacher might have said, a friend, culture, environment. What He says is going to trump that lie because He created you. I couldn't even imagine somebody looking at something I drew or created, and then they want to tell me what it looks like. They want to tell me what it is that I created when I know what I created. Can you imagine? So God is like, baby, don't put those lies on my creation, my masterpiece, because that's not what I created. So we have to start peeling back those layers, removing these labels and these titles, and unlearning the lies so that we can get to we can get to the core of the original masterpiece that God created. All right, so let's end with some questions that you can reflect on throughout the week. I myself will be reflecting on them as well. Baby, the Lord knows I need to start peeling back some false layers that were put on me. And to be honest, when I think about, these layers, I put it on myself. Nobody else put it on me but me. I put it on myself because sometimes we can be our worst critic, right? Those critiques can come from comparison. Those critiques can come from feeling like you're not good enough. And it's not because somebody said you have to be X, Y, and Z, but in life, you have measurements, you have metrics, you have different things that you feel like you have to live up to. And honestly, instead of trying to live up to these metrics, let's reflect. What expectation am I living under that don't belong to me? God didn't give it to you, so therefore it doesn't belong to you. The expectations of others don't belong to you. Whose approval have I been trying to earn? Ooh, child. Sometimes I was talking to a friend, and yeah, we be in our 30s and 40s still trying to get an approval from a parent, from other people. Let it go. The only approval that matters is God. Let it go. And I had to encourage my friend to let it go. Their approval does not matter. What matters is God. The last thing I want you to reflect on is, where have I felt pressured to be someone I'm not? It can be where, or it could be when have I felt pressured to be someone I'm not. And sometimes that pressure might not be someone telling you, oh, be this, be that. But sometimes we can step into a certain environment, and based on that environment, we can start to blend in. We can start to feeling like, oh, then this environment is like that, so I must become like that. I must be that so I can blend in, because I don't dare want to stand out like a sore thumb, right? So sometimes it's not someone deliberately putting pressure on you. Sometimes we put that pressure on ourselves by wanting to blend in, by wanting to fly under the radar so we don't stand out. And it's because of fear. And guess what? We do not shrink. We do not try to fly under the radar. We show up as the masterpiece we were created. So reflect on those questions. Because the more reflection you do, the more you start realizing some things, and you're like, oh boy, I need to make some changes, right? I need to start changing some things up. So reflect on that. You don't need to carry those false layers anymore. Let them go. As you get down to the core of who you are, let go of all those false layers. Let them go. It's not serving you. Is it? These false layers, have they been serving you? No. I know for me, they haven't been serving me. They've been keeping me down. They've been weakening me. They've been draining me. They're not serving you. So feel free to let it go. It's time to unlearn who you're not, so you can start showing up as who you are. So you can become who you already are in Christ. Okay? All right, my love. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this episode helped you in any kind of way, share wherever you're listening, whether it's YouTube. You can connect with me on Instagram. Let me know your thoughts, because baby, we need to start unlearning, start peeling some things back, and letting go of identities, labels that no longer serves us. We need to start showing up as our true authentic self, because God created this masterpiece. God created you. And he knows who you are. And it's time that you know who you are. Okay? All right. So share this with anyone who might need that reminder today. Share it with somebody. And until next time, keep growing, keep discovering you, and keep entering the next level of her. Okay? Talk soon.